Oops.
No chrome, no pain, no tears. Great markings.
And for this hairdo, what would you typically charge?
This hairdo could range anywhere between $250 and maybe $500–600.
Agnes, how many hours do you think it takes to complete?
And it takes about 20 hours to do.
Whoa. Are you going to be able to sit there?
Well, it's already done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just doing the maintenance.
Ah, okay.
How did they get to be called ISIS locks?
They became ISIS locks from a lady who trained me to do sister locks, and her name is Joanne Cornwell, who was successful in winning her case in the state of California. She's from San Diego, California, and she also was assisted by the Institute for Justice years ago. And I went and trained under her, and the training was about $1,500. I had to fly to San Diego, California, and get the training. And I flew back to Texas, and I started doing the technique on my clients, and then I realized that certain textures of hair couldn't be done the way I was trained to do it, but because I'm a professional and an artist, I figured out how to do it where it would be more conducive for the curl pattern and texture.
And how long will that last?
Forever and ever and ever. It will grow so long down to the floor.
Have you done any Dallas Cowboys or NFL players?
Of course, I've worked with, I don't remember their names, but a couple of them have come to me over the years. And I worked with Jay Johnson, who is the trainer for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. So he's come to me numerous of times to get his locks done as well.
Isis, how long does it take you to do Erica's braids all the way down to the floor?
To do Erica Baidu's braids all the way down to the floor, which she has right now, today, it takes anywhere between 5 and 7 days. It's African art at its finest. Yes.
How do you keep them calm?
How do I keep Erica Baidu calm? I sing to her.
You see? Must be pretty good.
Just whenever, sure.
Isis, is it hard to keep younger people in a chair that long?
No, because this legacy has been passed down from generation to generation. Of course, when we learned about braiding in America, it kind of changed its vision, its view, its standards. But African braiding in Africa was passed down to children as young as 5, 6, 7 years old. So this moment in time in Africa, when it was grooming time for the kids, this was the time to bond and make things very beautiful. Give them the mirror, let them see their own reflection, teach them the skills so that they can be confident and have the knowledge and the wisdom of ancestral or African braiding to pass on. Culture is everything, and African braiding is very highly revered in Africa. It's highly revered in Africa.
Have you been over there?
I haven't yet. My spirit is over there every day. Every day I have someone ordering my products from Africa. Every day I have someone calling me about hair care remedies. My energy is definitely there, but no, I haven't been there yet.
So you make your own products?
Absolutely. The same way Madam C.J. Walker did. Madam C.J. Walker started her hair grower formula to help black women who were not allowed to groom themselves back in the day and who had developed alopecia and scalp disorders. So I do my products to help us in this day it's like a resurrection of the past. We still have issues with alopecia and scalp disorders and things that plague us on a daily basis, and not just African American, but women in general. So my products is geared towards helping to rid the scalp of dysfunctional infestations.
Isis, will you paint the picture of that day in 1997 where you were braiding and officers came into your shop?
Oh my God. That day is so vivid to me. The day I was arrested and taken to jail for braiding, I was actually in here doing a reporter's hair from Fort Worth. And a couple of ladies came in and they posed as clients. And before I knew it, she was flashing her badge saying, "Isis, you're under arrest for braiding hair." I thought it was a joke. I was like, "Are you serious?" And she said, "Yes, you do my sister's hair, and I know that you're the community icon for natural hair and African hair braiding, but we have to take you to jail for braiding." And I asked for permission to call my 5 children because they all were in school, and she gave me permission and asked me to cooperate and comply with the law. And when I looked around, there were 5 other officers in uniform that came to cart me off like a common criminal. And I just thought, oh my God, this is such energy and fuel for what I'm doing. And there wasn't a law in place yet, so I didn't really understand why that happened to me. But now, looking at it, I'm happy that they chose me to take to jail that day.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
So who do you have in your chair, Isis?
So now, you want to speak to now? What kind of experience have you experienced with having your locks?
Yeah, thank you very much.
First, I love the new beautiful, and I could have done it They're so
Okay,
sweet.
thank you. Sorry if I was good, but
Were you scared to get your hair done before you came to Isis? Do you think it was going to hurt or anything like that?
A little. But when she did it, I started falling asleep.
Are you on a volleyball team?
No, like I'm a coach.
Oh, you are.
So Isis, once you win this case, because you are going to win, what do you expect to do with the school? You're going to take it on the road?
I would love to not only just be stationed here in Dallas once I win. There are people that need me in Arkansas. There are people that need me in San Antonio. There are people that need me in Beaumont, Texas, Houston, Texas. And since I am the only ancestral natural hair care African braider in the state of Texas, I want the opportunity to spread my wings, to fly, and to go help many entrepreneurs just sitting and waiting to have jobs. I want to go and help them to become professionals at the art of African braiding. That's what I want to do, I wish.
You know, I got a really good follow-up question to that. Once the school has, been given, the okay by the state and you're able to license, that's going to create an issue because there's going to be tons of people coming in. What about a program training instructors underneath you?
Absolutely. But the issue is I've been stopped and prohibited and hindered from doing this for 25 years. And what happened to all of that? Economic liberty. I just want to make an honest living. I want to earn an honest living. So I can't get those years back. So I'm not really concerned about the overflow of people that come in here because we have so much unity in our community. And when we are community builders, we pull together and we employ and we take people off the street and we change lives and we make people smile. And that's what I want to do.
Is that why you do the natural hair parade every year?
That's why I do the natural hair parade, is to offset bullying and violence and, you know, let kids see how beautiful they are with African hair and African hairstyles, and give them culture. Because I think that's the thing that's causing them to act out, is they don't know who they are. And so the African braiding is just a symbol of putting the unity back together, creating jobs for the community, welfare to well-being for all African people. And people of color in general, because, you know, we all want to know how to twist and lock and braid and then quit our jobs that's been depressing us for years and start our own businesses. So that's what economic liberty and this whole fight for economic liberty is going to do for all of us. This is not an ISIS thing. This is a generational thing. This is the next generational movement to free those that wish to make an honest living. And believe me, if this is won tomorrow, we'll have many people here getting their license from the Institute of Ancestral Braiding.
How do you feel about those students that are being kicked out of school because of their hair? Their natural
African hair is African history, and it is the hair that was enslaved in this country. It was removed from American social systems. So now that we are embracing the love for African braiding and African hair, we're also finding out that it is not as simple as going natural. It is not as simple as becoming an African braider. It is not as simple as teaching our children to wear Afro puffs to school. It's a political movement. African braiding, I say over and over again, is our today's civil rights movement.
And are you open 5 days a week?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm taking on a role of community building, so until I'm able to teach enough people to take my spot behind the chair, I have to work on some things that I can do on a larger scale for the community, and that's African building, African community building, and making sure that we keep the parades going and we keep the festivals going. That's where my heart is right now.
And the parade was just 3 weeks ago?
It was actually 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago.
What kind of reaction or response do you get from your students after they've taken your class?
I don't know. Why don't you interview one of them? Celeste? I have several of my students here that are the matriarchs in their cities.
Hello.
Yeah, Celeste, where are you from, Dallas?
I actually stay south of Dallas, maybe about an hour away in Mejia, Texas.
Where again?
Mejia, Texas. It's actually south of Dallas. Home of Anna Nicole. Well, we actually want to put natural hair on the map down that way. It's like a worldwide movement. So I actually traveled all the way up here to be with Isis, you know, to be taught by her. I always wanted to do hair. I just never could see myself perming and cutting and altering. I just want to lock and play with puffs. And I mean, this is our history. This is us. And it's a constant battle. You know, you deal with people all the time talking about, well, I can't wear my hair like this at school, or at my job we can't wear locks. And it's like, why? It's just hair. I mean, it's flexible, it's versatile. And at the same time, the world doesn't understand what people of color go through when we alter our hair. You know, the perm is damaging. And people would rather see us, you know, with scabs and stuff in our scalp rather than having voluminous, beautiful, coily, curly hair. I also feel like it's art form, you know, and it's taken away from that. We're trying to unlock chains, and it starts from head to toe. You can't suppress the hair. The locks aren't to be tamed. The fros aren't to be tamed. Why? Why does it make the community you know, feel threatened Our history, our hair history is world history. The world needs to be sensitive to it, just like they need to be sensitive to our skin. I mean, if skin color doesn't matter, neither does hair texture.
What did your employer tell you as far as your hairstyle? How did they tell you you could not wear your hair in locks?
I actually am fortunate enough to have never gone through that. When I left my place of employment, which was a state facility, which is common all over Texas, I actually went through my transition. It was a thing that I did for myself. I felt more comfortable and I really came into who I really am. It does battle with, I call it a dual lifestyle. We have this thing that we do underground and then we have our regular lives. I'm a full-time college student, you know, I'm going to school to be a paralegal, you know, and it's conflicting because I do wonder when I finish, are they going to accept me coming in as this? I've been underground like this, not mainstream. So that is something that I worry about because I deal with a lot of people that are like, well, I can't wear my hair like this. Kids that are getting suppressed in the school system, athletes that can't wear braids and locks because they play sports. Do it on the weekend but not in the facility. But people don't know this is something that we do to our children's hair when they come out the womb. So how can you stop this? This isn't a fad, you know. People that are criminalizing the system and people that are in the NFL and stars, we all have our culture in common. Hair does not define someone's criminal activity, just like hair does not define someone's quality of stardom. This is just something we have in common, like our skin and where we're originally from, and it's being suppressed and it's being, you know, being sexualized, you know, in a way that's ridiculous. I am not a criminal. I've never been on the street corners. I've never done these things. So why can't I be embraced for my hair?
Right. How did you learn of ISIS and how did you guys become connected? How did you become connected with ISIS?
Google, honey.
Google.
Google is something when you type in natural hair institutions or natural hair license, she's the only one that comes up. She's the real deal. You have a lot of cosmetologists that are now braiding and locking, but this is remedies that they're learning in their kitchen, growing up and stuff like that. They didn't go to school for this. They go to school to alter hair, and then they have to use their license to do what they really want to do. Whereas in ISIS is teaching you scalp health, overall health, spirituality. It's more than just doing hair. It's a trusted thing. We talk in here. I mean, these are the type of conversations that we have in our natural realm. That's what it feels like. You know, it's family in here. We're comfortable to come in here with the kinkiest or the nappiest of hair. It's accepted. It's the norm here. Only here. So
I got a follow-up question. You had a pretty good business before you came to her school. How has your business been affected, you know, with the skills that you've learned and the notoriety of being certified by ISIS?
I actually, like I say, I actually have to be in the realms of safety. You know, I have to register with the state with what I do, but at the same time, you know, it's limited. I can't go mainstream. You know, I mean, I have a full full profession, and I'm still having to go to school full time to be accepted by society. It's like my profession is in a whole nother world. I consider what I do here a profession, and I can't go mainstream in society. It's like this underground covenant, so to speak, of hair. But we see it every day. We see it on TV, but it's not accepted. I mean, so it's kind of hard. It's hard, you know, but I'm still going with my business. You know, it's about, and it's taught me, you know, you have to be self-made in America to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? And this is what I want to do. So, I mean, if it means being underground until we get this movement, and it is a movement, it's bigger than the fro in the 60s, to get this movement going, this is what I have to do. Gotta stick with it. I have to be what I do.
Yes. And Celeste, what's your last name?
Gray, G-R-A-Y.
Who of you are students of ISIS's? Have any of you both taken it from her here and then had to go to the
Yes,
cosmetology
that's my
school?
baby.
I actually was going to do that. I
She's
actually
outside
taken it here
interviewing.
and was going to go to the cosmetology school. But like I say, I have so much faith in this, I'm not gonna do it. I'm
You're just not
gonna
gonna get
wait.
licensed.
No, because it's contradicting what we're doing. We're going to school to alter hair. I sit in your class. You're not teaching me anything about scalp health. What happens if my clients come in and they get dandruff? What is the solution? A relaxer? A straightening comb? Do I alter the shape and quality of her scalp and her hair and teach her to be something else? Why do we have to teach people in the community? It's also a system that kind of holds our community back. Why do we have to teach our community to be comfortable with being altered? Why do we have to teach them to live in an image that you'll never be able to live up? It's not permanent. That's what is wrong with the name perm. It's not permanent. It should be called a temporary. Everything that we're doing is temporary. Though there's nothing wrong with, you know, I'm really passionate about it. There's nothing wrong with adornments and stuff, adding hair to natural hair, but we still care about the scalp and our real hair.
Because that's God hair.
Exactly.
It's our antennas. It's totally different from any other hair that grows in the human race.
Exactly.
Okay? It's just like you would never see a giraffe trying to look like a sheep.
Or a penguin. It's ridiculous. Yet we do it. And what happens with it is the hair, our hair, this is the real signs of our hair. When it's straight and flowing, it's dead.
Absolutely.
That is the truth of it. You want it to be pretty, but when it's pretty, it is on life support. And you can only keep it so healthy with a perm. I mean, it's going to shed. You're going to come to the point where it's going to fall out in the sink like mine. That one last perm did it. And, you know, I was in denial about it because this is all I know is perm. Like, I don't know what to do if I got to start all over. This is what we face. I got to start all over with this much hair. But what am I going to be able to do with it? Do y'all have some weaves to cover this up? That's how we've been taught to be shamed of our hair when it should be, okay, got to start all over. It's all good. It's going to grow back. It's voluminous and it's alive. But we're not doing that. You see sisters walking around with no edges, and they don't care. They're going to swoop it over.
And they're famous.
They don't care.
They're people that they're showing on
They
TV.
don't
They're
care
very
about
famous.
their real hair because we've been taught as long as you altering, that's better than what you really got.
Because you gotta look like the system wants you to look in order for the system to control you. But when you look like God wants you to look, or your ancestors want you to look, then you become a threat.
And people of color need to wonder, why does this make the world feel threatened? Why you in your natural form, why is everyone threatened? Better yet, why are you worried about it? Because I would never go to someone of another ethnicity and say, hey, why do you do that? Or what's with that? What's going on with this hair today? We hear things like, did you stick your finger in the socket? Or what are those ropes coming out of your hair? And they don't understand. It's offensive.
And it's
very
generational,
offensive.
because we used to be called the, we used to have the kink killer. That was a product that was in America. We had the KKK, knock those kinks crazy. We also was very world publicized for the nigger hair coupon. We would cash the nigger hair coupon in for straight, voluptuous, long, silky European hair. And we had all these different manufacturing companies catering to us back during the early 1900s, the mid-1900s, during the time when Madam C.J. Walker came in, because they saw a need. And whenever there's a need for African people to create wealth in the industry, they always cater to them with things